If you struggle with lower back pain, this gentle Pilates session is designed to ease tension in that lower back area and strengthen the core. So when you're ready, come on down to the mat and we'll begin.
Knee lift. So you're going to draw one knee into the chest and then lower that leg all the way back down to the floor. Same the other side. Inhale to lift that knee. Exhale to lower that foot down to the floor. And you're just going to keep alternating sides here, drawing that knee in towards the chest. Trying to keep the pelvis nice and stable here so we're not tilting, rocking forward or back. And I'm just trying to get that knee as close to the chest whilst maintaining that stability. So the back of the rib cage is nice and heavy now, down towards the floor. You're breathing in and then exhale to lower. If you want a little bit less stability, you can take the hands above the shoulders, turn the palms so they're facing in. The shoulders are nice and heavy into the mat, reaching the fingertips up towards the ceiling. You've got a couple more like this, so alternating sides, drawing that knee in towards the chest. Keep gazing directly ahead. There's no tension through the neck or the jaw. From there, I'd like us to come into our leg slides. Let's do two more like this. Lowering that foot back down to the floor. Switch sides, inhale, lift. Exhale to lower. You're just going to roll onto one hip. Let the opposite hip lift. Inhale to bring the pelvis all the way back to the start position. Exhaling over to the other side. So the shoulders are staying nice and heavy into the mat. And I'm thinking about drawing the rib cage down towards the hips. Rolling onto one hip. Let the opposite hip lift, breathing in to bring it all the way back to center. So what I'm trying to do is focus on the movement coming from the pelvis here. It's really easy to kind of let the knees lead the way, get the knees closer to the floor. But if we do that, we start to extend that lower back, and I really want the movement to be that lumbar rotation. You've got a couple more now. Each side, use that breath. Inhale back to center, and then exhale to roll onto one side. Shoulders are nice and heavy, making this the last one. Exhale. Even up if you need to, do an extra one. From there, I'd like you to draw the knees in towards the chest, guide them in, and just make those little circles, so taking the knees out nice and wide as you just release a little bit around the hips. Let the hands guide the knees around, and then circle in the opposite direction. So let's come back into a seated position. You can just roll over onto your side, or you can come into a roll up. You can keep the legs bent if you want to, or straighten them, whatever feels better for you. Breathing in, rib cage closure. Exhale as you lower the arms, lift the head, neck, chest. You can take hold behind the thighs and slowly start to roll all the way back up into that seated position. So from there, lower all the way down onto your tummy. Just going to slide my towels out of the way. Lower all the way down, taking that diamond press position. So the thumbs are underneath the forehead. Feet are just a little bit wider than the hips. You're going to breathe in to prepare. As you breathe out, start to slide the nose along the floor, lifting the head, the neck, and then come into that extension. Finding the length through the spine. I've got the support again for the lower back. Inhale to come all the way back down, sliding the spine down, followed by the neck, then the head. And just do this a couple of times in your own time. There's not much weight into the palms of the hands, really working into the spinal extensors and down through the back of the body. Inhale as you come all the way back down. Let's do two more like this. Exhale as you find that length. So great to work through strength through that mid to upper back area. Inhale as you come all the way back down. Final time. Exhaling as you begin to lift. One more for good luck. Inhale to come all the way back down. Last time as you exhale and lift. And then inhale to come all the way back down. Slide the hands underneath the shoulders. Press back into your rest position. Maybe taking the knees out just a little bit wider. You just let the forehead either connect to the floor. You can fold the arms if that feels better, but just whatever feels good, but really feel that release into that lower back area. When you're ready to, maybe walking the hands over to one side of the mat and just feel a deeper stretch down through the outside of that waist and into that QL muscle, and then switch to the other side. So taking the hands over to the other side now, opposite palm on top, and enjoy that stretch. Bring it all the way back up to center, and then you're going to slowly roll all the way back up, just briefly coming into a cat stretch, and then inhaling to release. Sink onto one hip. So this is where you're going to need your pillows or whatever you've got to hand, cushions, and you're just going to rest your head on your cushions and bend through the knees. My bottom hand is out in front of me. So we're going to start with a clam, making sure that the head and neck are in line with the spine for this one. You want a cushion that's going to support the head. We're going to be rotating the head in 2 ticks. So knees are ahead of the hips, and just find the length through that top side of the waist. You can, for clam, hover the ankles off the floor, which can sometimes feel a little bit kinder on that lower back. So play around with that start position. And then when you're ready to, you're just going to come into your clam, lifting and lowering through that knee. So inhaling to lift and lower, and then exhale to lift and lower. So just keeping that breath as even as you possibly can. Feel the extra squeeze at the top. So really working down through the glutes to the strength of the hips, and also into those inner thighs. And you're going to keep this going here and feeling that connection into the core, so not just sinking down into the mat. Keep this going here. So as I say, you can either have the ankles down for this one or lifted. I find I get a little bit more rotation as with the ankles hovered off the floor, but whatever feels better for you. Keep this going here. Inhale, lift and lower. Exhale, lift. Keep it going. 4 more like this. 3 more. Deceiving 2. And 1. Now hold this next one up. Hold it there. And let's add those little pulses at the top. You've got 8 and 7. Let's go 6. 5 more. 4. 3 more. 2. And 1. Now lower it all the way down. Take the knees a little bit higher up so they're ahead of the hips, and take the ankles out so they're almost kind of in line with the front of the mat. From there, you're going to take that top hand onto the bottom arm. So both arms are straight. You'll find that top fingertips won't meet perfectly through the bottom. That's absolutely fine. So you're going to breathe in. You're going to raise that top arm up towards the ceiling. Begin to turn the head, so you're following it with the arm. And then you're going to exhale as you come into your rotation. Now at this stage, it's really easy to let the arm just collapse behind you. So keep that in line with the shoulder, coming into your rotation. Inhale to bring that arm back above the shoulder, and then close off the arm back to your start position. Let's go again. Breathe in. Follow that gaze with the hand. Exhale to come into that rotation. Inhale to bring it back up above the shoulder, and then exhale to close off the arm. We've got 2 more this side. Breathing in to lift. Follow it with the gaze. Exhale, finding that rotation. Inhale to bring it back above the shoulder, and then exhale to close off the arm. Final time. Breath in to lift. Exhale as you rotate. Just being aware that that arm doesn't just, gravity doesn't just take it down towards the floor, and hold. Press into that top hand, lift the body all the way up, coming into your zigzag position. Easing those hips down as best you possibly can, taking the arms out wide. You're going to inhale, raise that right arm all the way up. Side stretch over towards the left. Inhale as you bring it back up to the center, and then find your rotation again. So rotating, reaching that arm through, bring it back out to the side. Same again, same side. Exhale as you reach. Bend that underneath elbow. Press the floor away, lift into your rotation. So lots of rotation for that mid to upper back, freeing up tension in the lower back. Exhale as you reach, keeping that underneath shoulder away from the ear, lift and into your rotation. So let's do all of that on the other side, coming all the way back to center. With that hand, circle the legs around and just take your cushions over to the other side of the mat. So get yourself set up. Underneath arm directly in front of that shoulder. Knees are on the diagonal. Both knees are stacked one on top of the other. So just have a quick glance down, ankles together. Again, I'm just thinking about that lift through the underneath waist, length through the top side of the waist, and that work into the core there. When you're ready to, maybe hovering the ankles for a little bit more of a stronger version. You're going to inhale to lift and lower, and then exhale to lift and lower. And just keeping that breath going, keeping the ankles together, coming into that lift. And we've always got that extra squeeze at the top if you can, just to work a little bit deeper into the hips. Keep this going here. climb is one of those exercises that looks so gentle and relaxing until you get about 6 in, and then it starts to feel really quite challenging. Keep it going. So with the ankles, just working a little bit deeper now into the inner thighs. But of course, there's no pressure to keep those ankles lifted. You can take them down to the floor. But if you have got any lower back discomfort, it can feel a little bit kinder to have them hovered, so into that more challenging version. Keep it going here. You've got another 4 here. And 3. Final 2. Now let's hold that next one up. Hold it up. Let's add those pulses at the top. You've got 8. Breathe. 4 more like this. 4 and 3. Let's go 2. Final 1. Lower that knee all the way down. Lower the ankles, and then just draw the knees a little bit higher. Shins parallel to the front edge of the mat. Top arm resting on that bottom arm. Let's come into our arm openings. So breathing in. Raise the arm up and over the shoulder. Look towards the palm, and then deepen in that rotation. Exhale as you rotate that thoracic spine, and the arm goes as far as we can rotate. Inhale as you bring it back above the shoulder, and then exhale to close off the arm. You're going to keep this going. Inhale to lift. Exhale, find that rotation. Deepen in that rotation as long as that feels okay. Breathe in to bring it back above the shoulder, and then close off the arm. 2 more like this. Breath in to lift. Exhale, rotate. Just being aware that gravity isn't taking that arm too far back. Breathing in to lift. And then exhale to lower. It's a nice way just to get a little bit of space through the front of the chest. Inhale, lift. And then exhale, rotate. Inhale, center. Final time. Exhale, lower. 1 more. Inhale, lift. Exhale, rotate. Inhale, back above the shoulder. And then exhale to close off that arm. Press into that top arm. Lift the body all the way up, coming back into that zigzag position. So from there, guide over a little bit, angling both hips down. Left arm is going to lift. Inhale. Side stretch over towards your right hand side. Bend that underneath the elbow. Press the floor away as you lift. Coming into your rotation. Arm across the body, reach. Bring it all the way back out to center. And again, exhaling as you reach. Breathing in to lift. Exhale, find that rotation. Inhale, center. Last time, exhale as you reach. Inhale to center. And then exhale as you rotate. Bring the hand back out to the side. Circle the legs around now. We're coming back down to the mat. Taking the legs maybe out in front of you or keep them bent. Hands behind the thighs if you want to. And just start to tuck the pelvis, rolling all the way back down. Take the hands down to the floor if you need that extra support. Then at the bottom, I'm just going to move the head cushions out of the way. We're going to come into a little pelvic tilt. So hands either side of the body, feet to hip distance apart. And when you're ready, you're going to just tuck the pelvis under and just kind of get rid of that natural curve of the spine. So pressing the lower back into the mat. And then inhale just to release. So starting with just that pelvic tilt first to really get that length in that lower back. Inhale to release. And again, exhaling to tuck the pelvis under. So if you imagine, try not to kind of squeeze the glutes too much here. Keep them fairly relaxed. Lower abdominals start to work to cause that pelvic tilt. Inhale to release. And it's not a really strong press the lower back into the mat. It's just more, if you imagine that little gap that you have in that lower back, for some it might be more than others. It's just getting rid of that natural curve of the spine. So a little bit less is more. Exhale, tuck the pelvis, let the shoulders go heavy. You can close off the eyes if you want to. And you're just going to draw your right knee in towards the chest. Just hug it in. Maybe sliding that left leg away to just feel that release down through the front of that hip. And just hold that position. Maybe closing off the eyes, allow the shoulders to go nice and heavy into the mat. Sliding that left leg back in. Crossing that right foot over that left knee and just coming into your figure of 4 stretch. Holding this stretch here if that feels good. Or maybe taking the hands through and deepening into your figure of 4 stretch. It just feels really nice. on that lower back. It's a deep stretch for the muscles around the hip. With each out breath, maybe just bringing it a little bit closer. And then release. Let's switch to the other side. So draw that left knee in towards the chest. Sliding that right leg away and just enjoy this stretch. Don't worry about staying in neutral here. Just let the back do whatever feels good. And then sliding that right leg back in, crossing that left foot over, refinding your figure of four stretch, and maybe just guiding that knee out to the side. That might be deep enough. Or sliding the hands through, taking that deeper stretch. Great. Deep breath in. Breathing out, just guide it a little bit closer. And then when you're ready to, just release. Hug the knees in towards the chest as close as you possibly can. And then release.
Thank you for joining this short Pilates session. If you'd like access to our full on-demand library, head over to our website at BSP On Demand. See you in the next session.